Okay, welcome again, everybody. Today's topic is printing and emailing sales and bids from Eclipse. So we're going to hit on a number of aspects of printing and then emailing. So I will demonstrate some things in Solar, but for this one, I'll say it's mostly slides and me talking and then us talking together. So I think everybody knows, but I just wanted to point out in Eclipse, in a sales order for a pick ticket, if you don't want to print the pick ticket, then that's our special ship via pickup NP, like no print. I'm in a bid status, but pretend, pick up now, and I'm going to print the ticket or going to process the order, I should say. If I choose pick up, no print, then no pick ticket will print. I'm going to leave mine in a bid status for now. And then I think everybody knows, but just a reminder, when you go to close counter order, it comes up quickly, briefly, but after you grab the signature, it does give you an option to print or not print the ship ticket. So if you find yourself handing that same customer the ship ticket and then they crumple it up, then explore the option of no ship ticket when you complete the close counter order. I'm not going to demo that one, but check it out today if you're not familiar with it. Okay. So when it comes to printing in Eclipse, a lot is determined by the order status. So from the status screen of a sales order, your print options, if you click on print options, they're called forms in Eclipse, and it depends on your order status. So if my order status is bid, for example, then in the drop down, I have these three choices. The choices are going to be different if I'm doing a pick ticket or a ship ticket, reprint, something like that. So it's the order status in this screen that determines my choices. I'll show this in a moment, but one kind of cool option for bids that's maybe easy to forget about is you can print or email a bid including product images. So I'll show that in a moment. I think that's kind of cool. Yep, here we go. Of course, I only have one product, but where Eclipse has an image for a product, it would put it next to it if you do this bid with product images. So as I was saying, depending what order status you have in this order reprinting window is going to determine your choices. So I'm just showing you here for a pick ticket, you have these choices, an acknowledgement, some other choices, and then for an invoice, yet some more choices. Blind is an option for most of the order statuses, and blind means no pricing. Generally speaking, where you see a J.R. Balson option, that's what you want to go with, because that's something that we've customized. So for example, if I choose pick ticket, I get 6 or 7 choices. Most all the time, you just want to stick with the J.R. Balson ones. So here's an example of what a blind ship ticket looks like. So it includes, of course, all the customer PO and salesperson, all the usual info, includes the product and the quantities, but no pricing. So this is useful for where perhaps a larger customer and they have runners, or the owner of the company says, hey, I'm going to send somebody in to pick up product. I don't want them to see my pricing. Well, without going too deep into it, whether the ship ticket prints with pricing or not by default is driving from customer maintenance. So you could have the circumstance where usually they want to see pricing, and that's how their ship ticket will print by default. But again, if they say, you know, I'm having this homeowner come in or a runner or something like that, and I don't want to see price, I don't want them to see pricing on this specific ship ticket, then you could go in and choose blind, and it'll look like this. Okay, I'm going to change gears now and talk about emailing. Let me go bring up Eclipse also. So when you go into this print options window, I explained that the status is going to drive what your choices are. So let's say I have a bid and I'm going to choose the option with product images. Well, from here, I can print or I can email. So I want to talk about emailing from Eclipse for a few minutes. Something I think it can come in handy if you're emailing from Eclipse directly to the customer. So you're not emailing from Eclipse to your Outlook and then sending it that way. But if you're going directly from Eclipse and emailing to the customer, what can be handy is to save some kind of your standard email phrasing. So here's what I mean. And I'll show you how to do this. I've saved this kind of standard couple of sentences so that I don't have to type it each time. I just bring it up by clicking select user comments. So mine just said, hello, here's the quote you requested. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and contact me. So to do that, to save that type of comment in the email window in the upper left, File, Edit User Comments. And then from here, you can do New Comment. Name it whatever makes sense to you. Oh, it doesn't want spaces. So Matt _ test. Here is a comment I would like to save. Then just close out of the window or File, Save. You can have as many as you like. I added it to my toolbar. If you don't have it on your toolbar, then File, Edit User Comments to create them, select user comments to use them. And here's the 3 that I have now. So again, if you find yourself kind of emailing the same type of thing from Eclipse over and over and want to save yourself from typing that phrase out each time, you can save the comment. As far as whether you should email from Eclipse directly to your customer or email yourself and then email the customer out of Outlook, I think it can be very kind of situational as to which you do. The advantage, of course, of emailing directly out of Eclipse is it's very quick. However, the advantages of emailing from Eclipse to yourself and then emailing the customer out of Outlook, the advantages there are it looks more polished. It'll have your Outlook signature with whatever links are attached to your signature, and you can add other attachments. one or two more things kind of tied to emailing out of Eclipse, and then we'll open it up for questions and discussion. In Eclipse, in user maintenance, myself, Eileen, Scott, we can set people up so that when you email out of Eclipse, it will blind carbon copy you. A lot of TMs like this, so that when they send something out of Eclipse, it also goes into their Outlook, but this is available for anybody. So if you'd like that option, just email me and I can set it up for you pretty quickly. Another option some people like is you can have Eclipse email you whenever you get a message in Eclipse. Again, useful for TMs, people who are on the road a lot and not necessarily in front of their computer. I have it set up that way too. So if that's something you would like, just send me an email. Okay, already did that. These are a couple of stock phrases I gathered from a few people. I can email these to anyone if you want, just ask. But as far as those kind of saved standard comments, here's a couple of ideas. And John also messaged while I was presenting blind tickets. Blind tickets are also useful because you can use a customer stocking list to show another customer or use a typical system matchup for a customer. Catherine, would you please unmute or give people the ability to unmute themselves, and then we'll open it up for Q&A and discussion.
Yeah, I think everyone should be able to. So go for it. People have comments.
So again, kind of some mishmash of different topics on printing and emailing, but was any of that new for anybody, or was it more just kind of reminders?
I had no idea you could get alerts emailed to yourself. I'm actually going to ask to have that.
Okay, sure.
I love email.
Well, yeah, I think the advantage of Outlook is you can flag things and kind of keep track of it a little bit better than just Eclipse.
87 job queues, 87 emails.
Oh, yeah, buyer beware.
I'm debating.
Well, it's easy to turn on and off, John. I mean, we could try it out this week if you want, or whatever. Okay, how about the saving kind of standard phrases for Eclipse emails? I think that's pretty cool. Was that new to anybody?
That was new to me, and it also will help with like collections as well, which is helpful instead of like copying and pasting everything.
Yeah, good.
We'll do it good.
Okay. Well, relatively straightforward topic, I guess, but some good options to know for printing and emailing.
I like that you can print it with a picture on it because that'll help some folks, especially newer folks, if we have them go that route.
And John, wasn't that something that Tom was working on, adding photos for products? I think
that's ongoing. That's separate. But yeah, anytime that we have something, Tom can get that in.
Okay, because I think that is something that's growing.
If you see something that doesn't have a picture, we can get that to Tom Nielsen.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, any you veteran users on here of this? Any other comments? Particularly Chris or John.
Well-
That's good. I was glad he covered how to print with no pricing, because people ask that a lot, and it's one of those things you don't really use it that often. So it's kind of something that gets forgotten about, because you'd be surprised how many times you do get the contractor that sends somebody in and they just say, hey, don't give them no paperwork, but when they realize you can print with no pricing, I'm sure they would rather have paperwork, because then you run into, say, he sends his customer in to pick up, 4 items, and he left one in the car. When he gives it to the contractor, he gives them 3 items, and it was supposed to be 4. There's no paperwork trail now, because don't have paperwork. Rather than if you print it off with no pricing, he sees what he's supposed to give to the contractor.
Yeah. Okay, and again, that can be in customer maintenance. You can set it to permanently print without pricing unless you change it individually on an order. So you can kind of go either way. So if most of the time the customer doesn't want to see pricing because he has a runner, then you could set it up that way in customer maintenance.
And I think before, if I'm not mistaken, John, weren't we kind of under the impression it was all or nothing? It was like it couldn't be individual tickets. It was either he had to be set up for no pricing, or was that for deliveries?
I don't know. Under that printing method, you're able to do it blind for
Because
anybody.
I think the warehouse, I think we looked at this in the past, being because how they leave stuff at job sites, so they can print the manifest invoice with no pricing. Am I correct, Matt?
I mean, you'd have to, it drives from customer maintenance, whether by default for a given customer, it's going to show pricing or not. But then on an order by order basis, you can override it. I don't know unless there's something else I don't know about, some other option, but
Yeah, and the other thing that I used it on is like if you don't have a customer's pricing set up because you're going to be introducing them with a truck stock list or something like that, you can take somebody else's as a generic example, remove their pricing, copy the order over to the new customer, and just do it blind. So that way it's literally just the product for your new customer to say, this is what some of my guys use as their truck stock for the winter. Can we set you up with that? So that's an excellent sales tool on the counter where you have time sometimes with some folks, or to hand to the TM and explain it to the TM.